So, what if I told you that you do not know how to play Gale, let alone how to master him as a brawler? Well, this video features the best and necessary tips and tricks needed to master Gale and push him to higher ranks. So without further ado, let's begin. Gale is a very versatile brawler who excels in crowd control and area denial. His primary strength lies in his ability to manipulate the battlefield with his gusts of wind and snow, making him an effective control brawler. Here's a detailed look at his abilities and how to use them effectively. With his main attack, Gale fires 6 long-range snowballs in a wide spread. The spread allows him to cover a large area, making it easier to hit multiple enemies and clear bushes. You should use Gale's wide spread to control areas and keep enemies pushed back. His attack is great for clearing bushes and applying pressure in lane control situations. With his super, Gale creates a long-ranged gust of wind and snow that pushes enemies back up to 8.33 tiles and damages them. It can pass through obstacles, making it effective for disrupting enemy positions and creating space. You should use Gale's super to push enemies away from objectives, out of cover, or into dangerous positions. It's also useful for interrupting enemy supers and abilities. With his first gadget, Spring Ejector, he spawns a bounce pad that launches both allies and enemies in the direction Gale is facing. The pad can be hidden in bushes and lasts until certain game events occur or another pad is placed. It can also cause players to drop items like the ball and brawl ball. You should use the gadget strategically to reposition allies or yourself. It's useful for quick escapes, surprising enemies, or gaining a positional advantage. With his second gadget, Twister, he creates a small tornado with a 2-tile radius that pushes enemies out and knocks them back. The tornado lasts for 5 seconds and can be used to control space and disrupt enemy movements. You should place this gadget in choke points or near objectives to force enemies away or disrupt their positioning. It's also effective for blocking enemy paths and controlling the battlefield. Now, with his first star power Blustery Blow, when Gale uses his super, he stuns enemies for 1.25 seconds if they are pushed into obstacles by Gale's super. This adds a significant crowd control element into his super. The benefit of this is that you can stun enemies against obstacles, setting them up for easy follow-up attacks from you or your teammates. Lastly, with his second star power Freezing Snow, he slows down enemies for half a second when hit by Gale's main attack. This helps in controlling enemy movement and making it harder for them to escape or chase. The benefit of this is that you can keep enemies in check, especially when they're trying to evade or close in on you. It can be particularly effective in high pressure situations. So with that said, his best build would be his Twister gadget and his Freezing Snow star power. The reason as to why Twister is great is because this is particularly valuable in controlling the battlefield, blocking enemy paths and disrupting their positioning. It's great for controlling choke points and creating space between you and your opponents. By using Twister, you can effectively push enemies out of key areas and prevent them from advancing or taking objectives. His Freezing Snow star power is good as well, because this slow down effect makes it harder for enemies to evade or close in on you, making it easier to hit your targets and maintain control over engagements. The slowdown is particularly useful in preventing enemies from escaping or pursuing you, which can be crucial in both offensive and defensive situations. Plus, who doesn't just love doing this all the time? So, Gale also recently got a Hypercharge for this update, so let's take a look at what it does. So, this Hypercharge makes Gale's super slightly wider and fires twice, pushing enemies further away. Additionally, he gains speed, damage, and shield buffs. This enhances Gale's ability to control the battlefield significantly. The wider and dual gusts increase the likelihood of hitting multiple enemies, pushing them back further and disrupting their formations. The speed and shield boosts also make Gale more resilient and mobile, allowing him to reposition quickly and survive longer in fights. When using his Hypercharge, activate it to maximize the area of effect of Gale's super, making it even more effective for crowd control. Use the speed and shield boosts to enhance your survivability and mobility during engagements. Let's now take a look at who Gale counters and who he gets countered by. Brawlers with high burst damage or mobility can pose a threat to Gale. Examples include Rico for his ability to deal high damage from a distance, and Spike for his area control and burst damage. Gale can counter brawlers that rely on close range engagements or have limited mobility. Brawlers like Poco and Pam can struggle against Gale's area control and displacement abilities. Finally, let's get onto some necessary tips on how you can maximize your efforts with Gale, and put these into repetition. Let's say you are playing Brawl Ball and you have your super. If all brawlers are positioned badly, shoot the ball, super them away from the goal, and you are able to score a free goal for your team. Gale's super can also cancel other brawlers' supers, for example Frank. So as soon as Frank stuns your team, his team has an advantage, so be sure to use your super to cancel his, right before his super attack registers. This ensures your team's safety and you can continue your game. Regarding his best build, let's say a brawler is about to jump on you or dash onto you. If they land a few tiles behind you, don't activate your Twister gadget, as they can easily back off and reposition themselves, making them a harder target. If they land a tile or less behind you, activate your Twister gadget for a safe escape. In modes such as Hot Zone, use your gadget near the zone so that enemies have to find another way to get onto the zone, allowing you to stay on the zone longer. You are also able to use his attack to slow them down as well, maximizing your control. With his Hypercharge, it's particularly useful in overtime, as you can super the brawlers further back, and it will take them a long time to catch up to you, since the entire map is open. With all of this information in mind, let's hope you can become significantly better at Gale. So therefore, hope you all enjoyed today's video. Consider dropping a sub and like if you really enjoyed this guide, and if you think it's really helpful for you. Comment down below on what brawler guides you want to see next. Follow all my socials down below in the description, as well as join my Discord server. See you guys later. Peace out. I become so numb, I can feel